All right. Now, Mr. Paul Davis is on the line. He is the member for Mount Pearl South. Minister Davis, welcome to the program.
Yeah, hi, Pete, and that would be Lane, not Davis.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got the wrong name up on the screen. That's right. I should have put two and two together. Paul Lane, absolutely.
There you go. Not a problem.
It wasn't making sense to me there, but there, go ahead.
No, it does. Now it's all becoming clear.
Yeah. Paul Lane, how you doing?
Good, Pete. Pete, I wanted to talk about the Mount Pearl reorganization, and of course the board will be making a decision on the option that's on the table tomorrow. There was a public meeting last night. I did attend, and I did make a presentation. And Pete, first of all, I just want to comment on. I heard you in your preamble, or sort of half heard you. I was driving down the road, and the impression I got, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but was one of the things you said, I believe, was something to the effect that, this is something that was sort of sprung upon the board and so on as a result of shifting population and so on, and they've sort of found themselves in this situation with overcrowding. Yeah,
no, if I gave the impression that it was something that couldn't have been foreseen, I certainly didn't mean to do that. It's a reactionary kind of situation. Obviously, this has been an area of growing population for some time.
Yes.
And no, I didn't mean to. If I gave that impression, I apologize. That was not my goal there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great, and I'm glad to clarify that, and because that was the impression I got, at least, right, when I listened. Yep. So I just wanted to clarify that point, because this is something that's been ongoing for the last number of years, and I could take St. Peter's Elementary as an example. At St. Peter's Elementary, they've been in a situation for the last number of years where they had what was 2 classrooms turned into 3 classrooms, jamming the kids in there, loss of resource center, loss of computer lab, going to take what they call a mobile computer lab, basically bringing iPads and so on and computers and jamming them into the classroom in a mobile type setting in the already crowded classrooms, children eating lunch at their desk, children doing gym class in the cafeteria, children doing music in the cafeteria because the music room has been taken up in classroom space and so on. I listened to the presentation over last night from Mount Pearl Senior High, where we have the other overcrowding issue, and the chair made a very good presentation, and she had indicated that they're into similar situations where they've had spaces in the school over the years that were dedicated to various things, whether it be art or resource center or whatever, and labs and different things that all had to be over time taken up into classroom space, and thus eliminating all of those specialty areas within the school. Now they've reached a point in both St. Peter's Elementary and in Mount Pearl Senior High where they've maxed out the space completely. Like I said, we've lost all the specialty space, kids doing a gym in the lunchroom and everything else, and now we're at a critical point. Once we've gone down that road, now we have even more kids, and now we have absolutely nowhere whatsoever to put them unless we're going to start putting them in the broom closet somewhere.
And full-day kindergarten on the way.
And now full-day kindergarten on the way. So this really points to a lack of planning, and I know in the case of St. Peter's Elementary, as an example, that's something that the school council at St. Peter's Elementary has been pushing this issue for the last number of years. I've been involved with it personally, as well as other MHAs, over the last 2 or 3 years, trying to get this school reorganization thing on the table and done, and it kept getting put off and put off and put off by the board, by the department, and so on. Right. Now, finally, when we're at this critical stage, where everything is totally bursting at the seams and beyond, now we're in this big rush to fix it before September. And
so
that's why we're in the situation that we're in.
Crisis management is what you're describing.
That's exactly where we're to. We're in the crisis management mode.
And not to dismiss the importance of how we got here, the more important thing is what do we do what do we do in the short term, and then how do we fix it long term? And like I said also in the preamble, I don't think there's a way to do this that everybody's going to be happy. But what is the best solution in your estimation at the moment?
Well, here's the issue I have, and this is what I've raised in meetings with the schools. This is what I've raised in the House of Assembly. I've raised this in the House of Assembly a number of times, asking the Minister of Education questions, and every time I ask about schools in Mount Pearl and the need for capital investment to expand existing schools and so on, whether it be use of modular units in the short term and then a permanent extension in the longer term, every time I ask questions about investing in some capital infrastructure, all I get from the Minister of Education is he'll read off a big laundry list of, we've put a new school in Charlottetown in Labrador, we put a new school in Paradise, we put one in Portugal Cove. And I'm happy for those communities, and I'm sure the residents of Mount Pearl and Paradise are very happy for those communities who have gotten new schools and so on. But reading off a list of what you've done in other parts of the province does nothing for the children and the students of Mount Pearl and Paradise. And I'm not suggesting, by the way, by any stretch, that we put a bulldozer to all of these perfectly good schools and build brand new ones. I'm also not suggesting that, that where there is reasonable levels of space in the existing buildings that we don't try to utilize it to the best we can. But there has to be a balance between jamming students into every available space, causing all kinds of turmoil and disruption, reconfiguring grade levels, putting parents and students and teachers through all of this when there could be options available with a couple of the existing schools, i.e. St. Peter's and Mount Pearl Senior High, with an expansion, and so that it doesn't just provide the extra space for classrooms we need, but also to eliminate the need for kids to be doing a gym in the lunchroom. I think that we need to look at those options. The problem is that the board has said, as a precondition, basically set by the Minister of Education, that as long as there is an inch of space available in any of the buildings, don't come looking for any capital. And that's not the board's fault. The board of volunteers are doing the best they can with the situation. That lies directly on the minister. And he needs to start listening in the House of Assembly to what I and my colleagues are saying. He needs to start listening to the parents, the students, and the faculty at the schools in Mount Pearl, because this is about our children, our most precious resource, and this is too important of an issue to simply ignore.
All right, Pauline, we're going to have to leave it there. We're out of time, but let's talk again early next week and discuss what the decision, what has been made and what it implies.
Absolutely, and I just want to make one final comment to the board, if they're listening. I said this last night, I'm going to say it again. The board of the Eastern English School District are not employees of the Department of Education. They are there to represent the people of Newfoundland Labrador, the students of Newfoundland Labrador. They're all good people, and I know they have the kids' best interests at heart, and I'm saying to them that if you do not feel that what's on the board is the best option, and I certainly do not, and if there is a capital solution, I don't care what the minister or the officials at the Department of Education is saying to you about no capital. Ignore what they're saying, and you make the best recommendation. If that involves capital, well, then it involves capital, and then if the minister wants to turn it around, to turn it down, the department wants to turn it down, then myself and my colleagues, and certainly the parents and so on, we'll take action to deal with the minister.
All right. Thanks very much.
Okay. All right. Have a good day. Bye.